Good afternoon, and welcome to the Wednesday after Trusts Unlimited. This is Jim George speaking. I'm the non-attorney spokesman and facilitator for Trusts Unlimited, and I'd like to thank all of you for taking the time to listen to this call. Before I forget, I did want to mention that there will be no call next week. I'll be on vacation. The timing relative to what's going on in Iraq is really bad, but this trip was planned a year ago with my entire family, and that's quite a large entourage. So I'm going to have to take the laptop with me and pay close attention to what's going on. This will be a shorter call today. We're leaving early Friday morning, so I've got the rest of today and tomorrow to catch up with everyone and get as much done as I can. So let's go ahead and talk about what's going on in Iraq right now. Historic is the right word to describe what's going on. What we're seeing right now is the final implementation of Shabibi's protocol for the monetary reform and the reinstitution of the Iraqi dinar in country. Last time around, Obama and Maliki, for their own reasons, stopped what was happening, but neither of them are around right now, and we now have Soudani, Barzani, and Alak, who are not going to be stopped at this point. They're on a mission. They're not going to allow the parliament to interfere with what's going on. They are not going to allow the corrupt exchange companies to continue to do what they were doing. As a matter of fact, they've gone on strike because Soudani and company had dropped a hammer on them, as was necessary. We heard that recently there was an agreement between Soudani and Barzani, an agreement that has not yet been disclosed. In my opinion, it had to do with the HCL, which I think is about to pop as well. We see the rate in the parallel market closing. That's the difference between the official rate and the street or market rate. Again, we see the exchange companies on strike because they put the clamps on them. And it's been announced that Iraq is scheduled for ascension to the World Trade Organization on the 18th of this month. So this is all very good news. The momentum is continuing to build. And at this point, the only thing we really have to think about is how's this going to come out. Some think there's going to be a reinstitution in country of the dinar at a slight premium over the dollar, and then they'll watch that grow. Other people seem to believe that you're just going to come out with a fixed rate. 322 makes sense because that was the rate of the dinar when it went into the program rate 20 years ago. But remember, the country is in far better shape economically than it was at that time, and add to that 20 years of inflation. So you could argue that 322 is a conservative number based on the situation now. But even if the reinstitution were to occur at a slight premium over the dollar, you know it's going to hit 322 very, very quickly. Some of the individuals that I've discussed this with, experts in the areas of currencies, global currencies, say that in their opinion, the Basel rate the Basel compliant rate for the Iraqi dinar is certainly north of $4 and closer to $5. So this is all very good news, and the next 30 days are going to be extremely interesting. And that's pretty much all I have with regard to what's going on in Iraq. But once we go to the banks, then we're dealing with the situation in this country. So I think it's kind of important to take a 30,000-foot look at where we are, because during this 20 years when we've been waiting for the reinstitution and revaluation of the Iraqi dinar, things have been going on in this country, and for the most part, a lot of it's not good. I'm going to go back to the first Obama administration, where we were told on multiple occasions by then-President Obama that his objective was to fundamentally transform America. And what he meant by that was the transition from the constitutional representative republic that we are to some form of his one-party social democracy, somewhat like what the governing bodies in Europe have. And, of course, he went on to say that one of the problems is the Bill of Rights, which, from a progressive point of view, is a set of negative rights because they limit what the government can do. And, of course, they've been pursuing this, violating our First Amendment rights with all kinds of censorship, violating or at least attempting to violate our Second Amendment rights. The central bank digital currency is a direct assault on our Fourth Amendment right to privacy. Red flag laws and things of that nature were an assault on our Fifth Amendment right to due process. And, of course, the attempt of the federal government to centralize everything is a violation of federalism, our 10th Amendment right, meaning there are states' rights. But fortunately, and in my opinion at least, I think the second great progressive movement is taking its last gasps. Remember, Hillary Clinton was to be the heir to Barack Obama. And Barack Obama said that his number one failure as president was his inability to, quote-unquote, get the guns. I guess it was Hillary's job to make sure that had happened. Of course, why would they want to disarm us? Because they don't want us armed based on what they had in store for us. But fortunately, Trump stepped in and changed all of their plans. And now Trump's poised to be reelected, in my opinion. And he's going to do a lot of things. In his first term, he was able to really resurrect the economy within a central bank system. But his long-term objective is to end the central bank and end the Federal Reserve. And I think that's on the agenda for him if he's reelected. Now, why is that important for us? Because when we go to the bank to do our exchange, we'll be exchanging our currencies for the Federal Reserve note. The Federal Reserve note, which has been the coin of the realm since 1913, is not a United States dollar. It is not a constitutional currency. It is a debt issued by a private corporation, the Federal Reserve. Now, the Federal Reserve is not federal and it's not a reserve. It's neither. They basically just print money and lend it to us. So while we've discussed the establishment of our Family Asset Protection Trust Package for denarians, it's an essential tool for all citizens that want to protect themselves. And there's three things I think we need to do as American citizens, whether we're holders of currencies or not. The first thing is to establish our Family Asset Protection Trust Package. By doing so, you preserve your privacy and your anonymity. By doing so, you will be avoiding direct IRS scrutiny. If you have currencies, you can gift those currencies to family and friends through the trust and have control of the post-RV proceeds. By establishing the trust, you will avoid the cost and delay of probate and the federal estate tax, which can be as much as 65% of your entire estate in excess of $12 million. And by establishing this package, you've made it virtually impossible for anyone to successfully sue you unless you have defrauded some individual or some group. Now, our package is a package of 10 trusts, a package we established prior to our involvement with the currencies for individuals of substantial means that just wanted to protect their wealth generationally. It's a package that had a cost of anywhere from $6,000 to $10,000. But when we began to market these currencies, this package to individuals with currencies, we knew that price tag would be unaffordable for many, so we've been able to reduce the cost to as low as $2,500. So if you're an American citizen that's unhappy with what the federal government's been attempting over the last 3 or 4 years, and if you're an American citizen in addition who has Iraqi dinar and other currencies, the best thing you can do for yourself and your families and future generations is to establish our Family Asset Protection Trust Package. You can contact us for our initial no-obligation package, either by email or phone. Our email address is Trusts with an S, Unlimited LLC at gmail.com. And our phone service is 307-274-4122. Contact us by email or phone. We'll be happy to get our initial package out to you. It has a lot of information about us, about the trusts, about the currencies. You can review the package, contact us if you have any questions. We'll be happy to assist you. The package does contain everything you need if you wish to proceed, but you're under no obligation to do so. We simply make sure you have everything so that if you want to proceed, you don't need to contact us about payment or any of that. Everything's included in the package. Now, I'm sorry that this is such a short call today, but again, I'm kind of under the gun. I have a lot of people I need to contact. They're getting nervous for good reason. They're afraid this is going to pop at any time, and they want to get their trust enforced prior to that. And again, I'm leaving for vacation on Friday morning, so I'm going to have to try to assist all of those individuals. And lastly, there will be no call next week. I'll be out of town. I'll be with family, and I will put a proviso in there. If the Iraqi dinar reinstitutes in that period of time, I will do everything in my power to try to have a call next week. But failing that, I'll be back in 2 weeks. Again, thanks so much for listening to this call. We're in a very good place. It looks like the hard work of Dr. Shabibi is finally coming to fruition. And those of us who have had the intelligence and the patience to wait this thing through, in my opinion, are going to be rewarded probably beyond our wildest dreams. It's been a long time coming. We're all deserving of this. So as Dinarians and American citizens, we want to take this wealth, utilize it for ourselves, for the charitable organizations we're establishing, for our family, and for our friends and for our country, hopefully. So thanks so much for listening to this call. Have a great week, everyone, and keep your fingers crossed because things are happening in Iraq. Thanks so much for listening, everyone. Bye-bye now.